Hi, my name is Taylor Hanson, and I'm a corporate lawyer at Gowling WLG, which is a large law firm in downtown Toronto. I've been asked today to talk about a typical workday. I'm also going to talk a bit about how I got my current job, the university and job application process, as well as what my day-to-day looks like now that I am working from home, and what it would look like pre-pandemic. Welcome to my home office. So right now I've just started my day. I typically log in around 9, sometimes earlier, and I check to see if I have any emails that I need to respond to from the night before, and if I have any work that I was working on the night before that needs to be continued. So this is my work setup. As you can see, I have 2 big computer monitors plus my laptop because I'm often looking at documents side by side or having multiple programs open, so it's a lot easier to get stuff done with this setup. And one thing that I didn't know before starting work as a lawyer is that you have to docket all of your time. So you have timers on one of your screens that record how long you spend on things, and you switch between them when you switch between tasks or files that you're working on. So the purpose of that is because lawyers charge clients by the hour, and then also at the end of the day, I'll know exactly how long I spent on each thing that I was doing. So I have finished responding to my emails from last night. I had an email asking me to do a small task that has to be done today, which I will probably do later today because I also have something larger that I have been working on for a while, so I'll try to get as much of that done as I can. This morning, I have a call scheduled at 9 a.m. with my mentor. We do calls every 2 weeks, and I also have tried to schedule in other Zoom calls with other lawyers just to keep the communication lines open and keep things as normal as they can be working from home. It's nice to catch up with my colleagues because normally I would see them every day and drop by their offices. So while I have some time, I've been asked to talk a bit about the process and what got me here. So I started off doing an undergrad degree at Western University. I did my undergraduate degree in medical sciences and biology. During that time, I took an elective course called healthcare law, which I found really interesting, and it was kind of my first exposure to any legal issues, and I just found them really interesting from an academic standpoint, and so I decided to start taking some more law courses when I could, and I looked into the application process for law school. So the process involves writing the law school admissions test, the LSAT. So I signed up for that. It doesn't really matter what you take in undergrad before you go to law school, so I decided to just finish out my science degree, and then I applied for law school. I ended up getting into Osgoode. I was really impressed by the clinics and hands-on learning opportunities that Osgoode offered. And then in law school, I kind of went in open-minded. I wasn't sure what type of law would interest me. In 1L, you have to take kind of the same courses as everyone else. My favorite course in 1L was contract law, which is all about rules for agreements, and how 2 people or 2 businesses would form a contract. So it looks like it's time for my meeting with my mentor. I will talk more about the job application process after this. So as I was saying, I took some courses, realized that I had an interest in corporate law, tried to get a sense of what corporate lawyers do. So generally people work in the summers between law school as well. I actually worked for the government of Ontario for my summer between 2L and 3L. And that was a good experience. I worked at the legal services branch at the Ministry of Finance. So the process of becoming a lawyer involves a 10-month kind of internship called articling. And so you have to be applying for that while you're in law school. And then after 3L, you have to write the bar exams. So that's 2 exams. You find out a few weeks later if you pass, and then once you've passed both the bar exams and you have your articling requirement done, then you can apply to be called to the bar, which is the official process of becoming a lawyer and having your lawyer license issued to you. So I completed that this year in June 2020. I officially became a lawyer. So since I'm new, I'm still trying to learn. So sometimes during my lunch, I'll watch a professional development video where I brush up on my skills and learn about different areas of the law. And other times I will just go on LinkedIn and see what articles there are and if there's any legal developments that I should stay on top of. I'm gonna have to talk about my job pretty generally, because I can't talk about specific clients or specific files that I'm working on. That's why I can't talk about, I guess, my day in too much detail, but I can kind of give an idea of the types of things that I generally work on. So I mainly practice in 2 areas of law: securities law or capital markets. So companies that have their shares listed on a stock exchange. So for those companies, there's a lot of laws about ongoing disclosure requirements, things that their shareholders need to know. And so we work on a lot of documents that get released publicly so that the company is always letting their shareholders know what's going on with them. The other area of law that I work in is called mergers and acquisitions, and that's just when a company is buying another company. We represent either the buyer or the seller, and then there would be another law firm representing the other party, and we work together to prepare the documentation. So right now I have to draft a couple small documents for a transaction. I won't put you through too much of watching me do my work, but basically what I'm doing is looking at documents from previous transactions that we've done in the past and changing them to make them fit the one that I'm currently working on. And the documents that I'm preparing have to do with other parties that are approving the deal. So it's now 5 o'clock and I have a few more things that I'd like to finish today. One thing about being a lawyer working in private practice at a firm rather than working for a company or in government is your hours definitely aren't the typical 9 to 5. Sometimes there's urgent things and you have to work evenings or over the weekend. I don't mind it. I can have flexibility during the day. I can plan to do my work basically whenever works for me. So if I have plans on a weekend, I can work more hours during the week. Well, I'm done my work now and I've logged off for the day. I'm just about to make dinner and then hang out with my roommate. If you stayed with me this whole time, thank you for watching. That was a day in my life as a corporate lawyer. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn.